Alright guys, gals, and everything in between, this one came as a bit of a surprise to me because I didn't actually know this film was frankly coming out until fairly recently, and a couple of my friends talked about it, and a couple people in the comment sections have talked about it, and now, you know what? I've caved, I'm gonna talk about it. Alright guys, gals, and everything in between, I'm here today to review for you Triple Threat. Triple Threat is the martial arts action film, and I don't frankly know the director. He, as far as I know, hasn't really directed much, but it stars, and this is the big kicker, it stars people like Michael Jai White, Scott Adkins, Iko Uwais, big emphasis on Iko Uwais, Tony Jaa, and many, many others. Now, if you don't recognize these names, then clearly you haven't watched martial arts films. These are all big name actors in the martial arts film world. I am a die-hard fan of Iko Uwais. I think he's one of the most budding future action stars that exists. I think he could be the next Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee, all of that. He's in this. Michael Jai White, who is great in everything. I mean, he was in Black Dynamite. Like, that's all I need to say to sell Michael Jai White. Scott Adkins, who needs to play Ninjak in the Valiant Cinematic Universe. Just saying. I will say this. The biggest detriment to the film is the story. It is a pretty cookie-cutter, straightforward action story of a man who's mad, who's bent on revenge, and he says, okay, I'm going to go out and get revenge on these people. Now, that's straightforward, and then they try and add, not necessarily twists and turns, but they try and make the plot seem a little more confusing than it really is, and it just doesn't work. But at the same time, that's not frankly what you're there for. You're there to watch guys use martial arts, beat each other up, and do cool things of that sort. Watching them do flip kicks and all these great things that makes me say, I remember when I did martial arts, I totally could not do that. That's what this film ultimately leads to. So I enjoyed the hell out of this film. It's a lot of fun, and again, once you subside the story, I always say that there's no excuse to a bad story. But at the same time, this isn't necessarily a bad story. It's just that you're there for a specific reason, and the story is there as a side piece, and it's trying to be something. It just doesn't necessarily take the forefront. And I'm perfectly okay with that because the acting is fine, the characters are all fine. It's just a matter of exploring the martial arts, really. And when you get to see these titans of martial arts going up against each other, you're in awe, especially if you have an appreciation for things like UFC, boxing, any martial art ever. You just sit there and go, whoa, that's amazing to watch when it happens. Because again, they're trying to make more of a story. This isn't like The Raid, where you get 5 minutes of exposition and then the rest is action. That would have been cool, and I would love to see these same actors in a movie like that, but that's not what this is. This definitely is a little more story heavy. So please don't go in thinking this is The Raid. Triple Threat is its own thing. And I loved what it was, but I couldn't help but want it to be The Raid. And I'm not going to give that as a detriment to it purely because that's not what they intended it as filmmakers. The action, how was it filmed, which was one of the key things, it was filmed great. They used good medium, wide shots, good cinematography. They weren't underlighting things, they weren't overlighting things, and they weren't doing overly shaky cam stuff like a lot of American action films are. This was very much a steady cam shot for sure. So mid shots with steady cams, you actually get to see them demonstrate their martial arts in wide, beautiful angles. And that was so cool to appreciate the martial art itself. That's where it's like the fine balance, whereas there's some films I criticize for certain things and not others. It's like this compensates for itself by trying to give you the fullest experience it can with what it has, and it succeeds entirely. I enjoyed it a lot. And I've rewatched the film twice now, and each time, I must say, the plot, I frankly don't care about. It's ultimately a spy espionage type film mixed with a little bit of vigilante justice. I don't care about that. What I care about is the fact that this is a demonstration of what action cinematography needs to be. And the martial arts films, frankly, of the past several years are ahead of the curve on what we really want and crave in action films. So please, Hollywood directors, look at films like this, look at films like The Raid, look at films like The Protector, and say, oh, maybe we should do that because that's what people like for these things. Sure, let's do it. Hint, hint, John Wick. So that's what I have to say. This film reminds me of stuff like that where you can see what they're going for and you accept it, you embrace it. It's a solid time. Especially if you have friends who love martial arts, who love fighting, who love action movies. Have them over and just enjoy it. Have some chips, some dip, and say, let's have a good time. That's what this film is for. That's why I have to say that Triple Threat is absolutely big screen worthy. All right, guys, gals, and everything between, did you enjoy Triple Threat as much as I did? I hope you did, because I'm sure going to pick it up on Blu-ray. I really liked it, but again, I'm not liking it for the story. I'm liking it for the demonstration of the martial arts being combined and used together to make this amazing demonstration of art and action as a film. So, anyways, don't forget to like and subscribe. Got plenty more videos coming to ya. Love you guys.